everyone, my name is Becky and this is a Handknit Letter, a show and tell of the stuff I've made and the stuff I want to make. I hope you all are doing well this January, whether it's wintertime for you or summertime for you. We're supposed to get some snow this weekend and that's exciting. I like snow for about 2 hours and then I'm done. I do like how quiet everything is in the snow. And I do like to take a walk in the quiet while it's snowing. I think it's just breathtakingly beautiful. But yeah, I get tired of it real quick because of the laundry. Okay, so let's jump right in. I am wearing one of my finished objects. This is the Lone Skein Shawl by Joji Locatelli. I've shown that in its incomplete form, I think a couple times on the podcast here, but here it is, done and off the needles and blocked and tassels are on it and everything. So I did enjoy knitting this pattern. I think it's something that I'm going to keep on the back burner for any kind of special skein projects where I only have something like a souvenir skein, or someone gives me a gift and it's just one skein of a fingering weight. That's something I probably pull out of my back pocket every now and then, because I think it's interesting, it's beautiful. You also get some good length from one skein the way this is designed. So it's definitely something I'm going to make again in the near future. I did, I think on the last podcast I showed where I had made a mistake in I've got my mom's dog up here and my dog, and they're just like, their little toenails are walking around underneath here where you can't see. So it's distracting. Sorry. I did make a mistake in the pattern. In the center, I added one too many textured or lace. It says in the pattern it's a textured repeat, but I feel like it's lace, which I guess lace is a texture. Tomato, tomato. Anyway, I did add one extra one because I was not paying attention and I didn't feel like tearing this out. I mentioned last time that the yarn doesn't love to be torn out. This one doesn't. It grabs really bad. So I just chose to march forward and I'm not upset about it. It doesn't bother me. Usually things like that will bother me. I'll say that it doesn't bother me, but then I end up never wearing it because evidently it does bother me. But this does not. It looks like it's something that's supposed to happen. It happened right in the middle, which is helpful. And yeah, so it's really pretty. I like the shape of it. It's an asymmetrical crescent. It's not a full, like, it's not the same on both ends, but the fact that it's a crescent shape lends it to being worn very easy as a scarf. So yeah, I really think it's beautiful. I like the color. That's all I can say about that. The yarn, I made this out of Manos del Uruguay Fino in the color Sealing Wax. It is, in my opinion, the most perfect red. I love this red. It's so vibrant and beautiful. It makes me happy. It makes me think of poppies, and I just love it. I don't love the actual fiber not to knit with. It was fine to knit with. I guess just the winding of it and being able to rip back. Other than that, it feels like heaven. It's so soft. It's so lovely. I probably will put up with it again because I love the way it feels and it's just super pretty. So I give this one 5 gold stars out of 6 gold stars. I don't know why we're working with 6 stars, but we are, and this one gets 5. Okay, I have one other sort of finished object. I guess it's a half finished object. I had told you in the previous episode that I want some fingerless mitts, and I want to have a couple nice pairs and a workhorse pair, and so I started on one of my nicer pairs, and let me find where I put that. Okay, so I finished one. The other one is on the needles. This is, you know what? I know that's irritating when someone doesn't have information for a podcast that they decided to start. I will put it in the description box. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. it links you to a blog post and you can knit the pattern up on the blog post, but you can also pay for a PDF. It's a very simple pattern. I didn't feel like I needed the PDF, so I just went off the blog post and it was easy. It's a fingerless mitt. I did not clip my end or block it yet or anything. I wove the ends in, but I haven't trimmed them. I usually don't trim my ends until I block my finished piece. I will weave my end in, then I will block it, and then I will clip the end, because I found if I've done that in the reverse order, I will have wove my ends in, clipped it, and then when I block it, the end escapes because I've blocked it, like the fabric moves or something, and then the end comes out. So that's just a tip from me to you. If you already don't do that, probably you already do, but that's what I do. Okay, so this is a fingerless mitt. I will write the name of the pattern. I will put a link to the blog post that you can get this at. And it was very simple. This is the medium, made in sport weight yarn. This is Cloudborne Fibers. It's their sport weight. It's a merino, charcoal color gray. I believe that's a discontinued yarn. I will try to find it for you and put it in the description box and see if you can find it somewhere else. But I think I got this on a closeout on Webs, which is yarn.com. So yeah, a fingerless mitt that I made. And I've never owned a fingerless mitt before. I've never made a fingerless mitt before. I've made a pair of mittens before, but never fingerless ones. And so I feel very, I don't know, I feel certain ways about it. Like when I put this on, I feel like I just want to punch. And then also I kind of feel like I am in an 80s movie. I'm a rebel from the wrong side of the tracks, and I've got a crush on somebody named Trent, who is wearing a lot of white pants. I don't know why I feel that way, but I become that person. Anyway, it's a really simple pattern, very easy. I think I knit this in an evening. There's not much to it. Yeah, I knit it on double point needles. I switched to some 9-inch circulars, like the little guys, when I got past the ribbing. And I didn't really love it on the 9-inch circulars. It was just as easy on the double points, and I had to go back to the double point for the thumb. So I probably would have just, for the next one, I'm just gonna stick with double pointed needles. So there we go, a fingerless mitt. So that's a half finished object. All right, let's work our way into stuff I'm making. So in stuff I'm making, I have got on the needles, besides I'm going to be working on the other mitt, I have got the shift cowl that I'm working on. This is the one I'm doing out of the Lion Brand mandala yarns. And here's how it's going so far. So here we go. Hope you can see that. And the colors are interesting. I can't decide whether or not I love it, but yet again, this is just for gardening, walking, sitting by a campfire. This is a very interesting construction because I'm knitting, let's see, okay, we're knitting like this way, obviously, but I guess these two short ends, I'm gonna make another short end over here. They're gonna be seamed up, and that's how the cowl's gonna be made, kind of like that whenever I get to it. It's fun to knit. It's mosaic color work, which I really do like. And so I'm having a lot of fun with it. So my friend Michelle, hey Michelle, she had messaged me when she saw my last podcast, and she had mentioned that, because this is written for sport weight yarn and I'm using worsted, that maybe I might want to have a smaller stitch count, or just knit it shorter, or both. And so I opted to cut out a section in here. I currently have 20 less stitches on the needles than what the pattern, there's just so many toenails, tip, tip, tapping. Oh, they're finally laying down. dogs. Anyway, she said maybe less stitches. And so I took her advice. And so I've got 20 less stitches. And I just did that by not doing a repeat. If you start knitting the pattern, you'll see what I mean. You do a section and then you repeat that section one full time and one partial time. And so I didn't do a repeat. So that gave me 20 less stitches when I did that. So this will be 20 less stitches across, and I think it'll be good. So those are the things that I'm currently working on. So let's talk about stuff I want to make. So in stuff I want to make, my friend Lindsey, okay, let's start over. Let's rewind. Please stop it with the toenails. They're part of the Neighborhood Watch program, and they take their job very seriously, even though we really don't have neighbors. Go lay down. Go on. Just squirrels and cows. Okay. So the last time on my podcast, I had asked you all to tell me what you're knitting on, which I love so much. And please, anytime you comment, I want to hear what you're knitting. So please tell me, because I'm telling you, and I would love for it to be a conversation where you tell me, because we both can inspire each other. And I pick out a lot of patterns and yarns and things from suggestions, from just like saying, hey, what are you knitting? And people tell me, or let's watch podcasts and people tell me what they're knitting. So I love to hear what you're knitting, and I am very interested every time. So if you want to leave me a comment and tell me what you're knitting on, or something you're excited about knitting, I love to hear that. And it never gets old for me. So I would love that. Anyway, backing up, one of my viewers, she left a comment mentioning what she's knitting on, and I'll put your name right here. Well, actually, I probably shouldn't, because I didn't ask you. Anyway, you know who you are. She mentioned that she was knitting a pattern by Yumiko Alexander, and she was attending, I believe, like a workshop or a fiber festival or something like that, where she's also known as Dando. And she has a line of yarns and some really beautiful designs. And oddly enough, I had never heard of her. Well, it doesn't have to be oddly enough. Like I hear of everyone. I've never heard of her. No, I just haven't heard of her. And so she mentioned that designer. So I went and looked it up, and I thought, oh, these things are so beautiful. I'm so glad that you told me about that. And so I put one of the patterns in my Ravelry favorites, which I do, and then I will go through them and then add things to my queue when I feel like I want to knit something. Anyway, so she told me about this designer, and I went on there and I put a sweater, a top called Agave, into my Ravelry favorites. And my friend Lindsey messaged me. She's like, I see you have Agave in your Ravelry favorites. She's like, I want to knit that too. And she says, why don't we knit them together? So that's what we're doing. We're going to knit the Agave top together. And we welcome you guys to join us. It's a very casual knit along. So far it's just me and Lindsey, but if you want to join, we want you to be there. We're gonna knit, she already started January 1st, but my yarn didn't come until just the other day. And we're gonna try to get it done by March 15th. That way we have it in time for spring. So I think that's awesome. Like if you hadn't had commented that you were knitting a pattern from this designer and going to this retreat, I would never have known about it. I would never have put it in my favorites, and Lindsey wouldn't have seen it and said, let's knit it together. So that's why I think this is so fun for you guys. Tell me what you're knitting, because look here we are, all because of that. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. So I am going to be knitting Agave with Lindsey, and our hashtag is knit agave. And if you want to knit with us, we want you to be there. So I'm going to be knitting with drops, Bomull Lin. I don't know. It's probably so bad the way I said that. But it's a drops yarn that is rustic elegance in cotton and linen. That's code for it's really tough, but it's linen and it's not been washed. So it is a worsted weight yarn. This color, let's see what color you are. This color is 03, and I bought this at Wool Warehouse. I'm gonna try to cover my face up. And it's basically just kind of a natural looking linen color, and that's what I'm going to knit this from. That's what I'm going to knit that top out of. Why are simple sentences so difficult sometimes? But they are. And some people speak more than one language, which is because I can't even do English. So yeah, Bomull Lin by Drops, and I better get started on my agave. And like I said, you guys are welcome. You all are welcome to join us and knit along with us. No pressure, no, you have to be done, and there's no prizes. It's just, hey, I'm knitting that too. So yeah, that'll be fun. So, and speaking of which, like anything that I make, not to think that I think I'm some kind of influencer, but anything that I make and you see it and you want to knit it too, or you want to use the same yarn and the same color, I think that's super cool. I'm not weird about that. I don't think you're copying me. I think it's fun. So yeah, don't feel weird, because I don't feel weird. Well, I do feel weird, but not about that. So next up, in stuff I want to make, I am going to knit a pattern that I have already knitted before, and that is the Felix Cardigan. I don't personally own one. I've knit one for someone else, and I've knit the pullover. But Stephanie, hey Stephanie, from Edible Thoughts Makes, is having a make-along where you make something that you've already made before. So it could be knit, crochet, sewing. I'm not sure what else she allows in that mal, but it's called, I wrote it down so I could be professional, but I left my pad over there. Okay, semi-professional, because I wrote it down, but I didn't bring it. Okay, so her make-along is called Make It Again Mal 2024. And basically you make something that you've made before. And it's fun because it's okay to make something you've made before. Say like you like a hat pattern and that's all you want to make when it comes to hats. That's cool. Or if you really, really love this one sweater pattern, but you want to make it in 50 colors, then do it. There's no shame in your game. So I am going to knit the Felix Cardigan, and I'm going to use Drops Air, which is a baby alpaca and merino. It's a blown yarn. It's got probably like a acrylic core, I'm not sure. Yeah, polymide. How does an American say something that they've only heard a British person say? I've heard polymide. That's probably very pretentious, me saying it that way. Anyway, Drops Air is what I'm going to use for that Felix Cardigan. I have made a Felix Cardigan out of Drops Air before for a friend of mine who took care of my garden one summer when I was gone, and I knit her a cardigan as a thank you because my summer garden is a lot of work. And okay, so this color is 06. It's like a charcoal gray. So I'm gonna knit this for that make along with Stephanie, but I'm also going to enter it into another make along that my friends Trish and Rochelle are having. Tie-Dye Diva and Queen's Yarn Boutique are having a year-long make along, and it's any kind of sweater. So it's cardigans, pullovers, whatever you think is a sweater, they'll think it's a sweater too. So it is, well, within reason. So it is called Year of the Sweater Mal, and I believe they also let you crochet or knit, and yeah. So I'm gonna put this in both. I'm gonna double dip, and I hope that's okay. Okay, so I think that's everything that I wanna talk about in stuff I wanna make. Obviously there's more stuff I wanna make, but we'll talk about more of that next time. So the last time we talked, I mentioned that I had 2 skeins of piece fleece yarn, one that I was going to keep for myself and one that I was going to share, so we can knit the lambing mitts together. And so I randomly picked a name from the comments of the people who wanted to knit them, knit with this yarn, and it is Paige Knowles. So Paige, if you see this, you can email me at ahandknitletter@gmail.com. I wrote that down, and I have that down in the description box if you need to see the spelling of that, or you can message me on Instagram at a.handknit.letter, and you can let me know how I can ship this to you. And so thank you for everyone who left comments saying that they wanted to knit the lambing mitts with this yarn. I wish I could give a skein to all of you and we could all knit them together. But please, if you want to join us and you want to knit the lambing mitts, please feel free. As soon as Paige receives this, I'm going to cast mine on. And yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And in the future, I'll do more of these things, and then also open some things I want to share with you to international viewers. So probably some patterns or something like that. So yeah, if you want to knit the lambing mitts with me and Paige, do it. And then tag me in your pictures, or send or message me in the comments of YouTube and let me know, because that's super fun for me. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching and for taking your time to spend some time with me. And I know there's a lot of places that you can be and a lot of good ways you can use your time, and it means a lot that you spent some of that time with me. And so until next time, wait a second, Becky. I did say that I would share 2 podcasts per episode of people I like to watch on YouTube. So before we go, I want to mention Marlene Knits. I love her channel. I love everything that Marlene makes. I think she's got great style, and she's pleasant to watch and very aesthetic. And so Marlene Knits is one of them. And the other one is a newer channel to me. She probably, I think she has more episodes than I do, but then again, I don't post a ton. Her name is Mari, I think, and her channel is called Colorado Knitter. I will link both of those down below so that you can get to the right spot to watch them. She's also a beautiful knitter and very pleasant to listen to. She's got a very sweet way about her, and I think that you would enjoy watching her too. And gotta give a shout out to my boo, Casey at Young Folk Knits. She always puts out something fantastic, and her podcast is the highlight of my week. So it's kind of be like that, you know, Jimmy Kimmel thing where he says apologies to Matt Damon every episode. It's gonna be, go watch Casey on my videos. Anyway, thanks again for hanging out with me, and until next time, I wish you well and happy knitting.